Maybe you can,
Still have
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just hold on.
So you can, they can write down during the. So I think yesterday, good morning. And I forgot to bring this yesterday. Okay, so you remember yesterday? Okay, this was the last slide, right? You remember you read this?
Yeah.
Okay. So today I'm going to talk about a little more about only begotten Son, only begotten daughter. Then next lecture this morning, I'm going to talk about the relationship between true parent and I. And yeah, okay. So this is basically what she has revealed newly. And the main point is this, right? Proclamation of God as heavenly parent. Oh, by the way, if you ask what is the purpose of answer session, this morning we did it at 9 a.m. What is the answer? For what you do, answer?
Liberate evil spirit.
Liberate evil spirit. And anybody? Anything else?
To liberate yourself in a way?
What?
Like to liberate yourself in a way?
From
those evil spirits?
Okay, so liberate evil spirit. Liberate yourself. Anybody?
Receive God's grace.
Huh?
Receive God's friend's grace.
Grace. Through answer? How you relate that? but maybe by liberating yourself? Okay. All right. Anybody?
Resonance.
Huh?
Creating resonance.
What? I can I have a good.
Creating resonance, like all the clapping together and then singing the holy song. It's just like.
So resonance. Okay, with what?
It's like putting love on the label of the rice. Or like.
Okay, so you are talking about a photo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, liberating yourself, liberating evil spirit, maybe you can have a better physical body, I would say, right? But the main point is, yesterday, you remember, what is the purpose of creation? Individual perfection. What is the idea of creation? Second, third blessing, which is direct dominion, right? So to fulfill the first blessing means to reach the individual perfection, what you have to do. Mother always said in the past 12 years, to be one with the Creator. Then what happened? To be one means to be one with the Creator in heart. Then the resonance of heart, God can dwell in you. Then you come to have the divine nature, which means you can complete the original nature of creation within you. Then you can reach individual perfection. So what is the purpose of answer? To be ready for God to dwell in you, internally and externally. Of course, liberating yourself, liberating the evil spirit. Well, this is for us to be ready. Please come, dwell in me. This is the answer. Okay, internally, externally, to be ready. Always as the temple, holy temple of heavenly parent. All right, so let's go back to only begotten daughter and only begotten son. This is her mother's new revelation. But as we read yesterday at the last slide, Father somehow understood what he was supposed to do. And he mentioned in his whole life, the only begotten daughter, if I am correct, 94 times. But it doesn't mean he had the same idea or understanding like mother did. For example, this is the engagement ceremony, which took place 15 days prior to their holy wedding days, 1960, right? And in engagement ceremony, there are two stages. Okay, can you read the words in red?
First event. Scene 1. Ceremony of the second coming of the Lord in South Korea. Scene 2. Ceremony of the unity of the incorporeal Father and the corporeal Father. Concluded by Father's prayer.
See, as you see, engagement ceremony took place centering on Father, centering on the returning Lord, right? And their holy wedding also they had two stages. First one is Western way, and the second one is Korean way. And in the ceremony, can you read the words in red?
First ceremony. Ceremony to restore parents.
According to mother, Adam and Eve, they should have been the embodiment of heavenly parent, holy embodiment. So mother said, true parents' holy wedding should have no shadow of restoration or fall. Pure water kind of holy wedding with father and mother. But already, as you can see, it took place with the sense of restoration and also male returning Lord centered ceremony. More obviously, you can understand this by seeing these numbers. All right. Original text of the Divine Principle, which was published in 1952 in Busan, when father escaped from North Korea during the Korean War. In 1957, interpretation of the principle, 3 years after the establishment of Unification Church. And currently, the Divine Principle you're studying was published in 1966, 1 year after Father's first worldwide tour. And each 3 books, how many times these terminology, these books mentioned. These terminologies are important in unification, true parent theology. Only begotten Son, returning Lord, only begotten daughter, marriage of supper of the Lamb, holy wedding, true parents. Now, these books, which word they mention most? Returning Lord, returning Lord. And words in red, mother has been emphasizing the past 12 years. 0, right? 2 means, actually, yes, twice this book mentioned, but in the sense of Christian sense, Christ is a bridegroom and Christians are bride, and this kind of understanding. So virtually 0. So by understanding these numbers, you can understand what kind of true parentship, what the nature of true parentship father understood. Where did it come from? We know Jesus, Father met Jesus on April 17th, 1935. This was a crucial moment. His spiritual experience kind of formed his course. There, what he realized he is the special housewife. Kind of weird terminology, but that is exactly he realized through his encounter with Jesus. And he mentioned this only 4 times in his whole life. 4 times. Okay? So we're gonna read what Father said. Please read.
Jesus taught about the concept of special housewife to me when he came.
Special housewife.
Special housewife represents an exemplary bride, speaking about ideals beyond even the first-class bride.
Next.
Because God is also a masculine being, I am the person who has been given the name Special Housewife from heaven. Special Housewife this is the first time I am speaking about it. It refers to a special bride. It is a story about God's love. This is a secret story, but even I myself had the name Special Housewife. It means solving everything related to fulfilling the responsibilities of the bride in front of Jesus. I have the name Special Housewife. It means, like a woman, to make oneself belonging through love. Isn't it the same in the Unification Church? Both men and women cry because they want to meet me. That's the history we have. Therefore, there should be women on this earth who represent heaven, established by God. Choosing the true God's wife is the responsibility of man. Jesus finally appeared at dawn on the resurrection day when I was 16 years old, and what was spoken at that time was about the role of special housewife, the special bride. This is the first time I am speaking about it. The life of the special housewife, everything about becoming a bride, in order to emerge as the foundation of the special housewife, one needs to become the master of a special wife. How can we find the position of the father who was expelled from the Garden of Eden beyond the world of the bride? Is it Adam's responsibility for his wrong choices? It is not God's responsibility. It is Adam's choice.
So basically here, what he wanted to say is this. God is the masculine subject partner. So he realized, he is the special housewife in front of God. And in the created world, he is the embodiment of God as the masculine subject partner. So now standing in the absolute subject position, he needs to choose and raise the bride. This is what he realized, according to his explanation. And this understanding really kind of is reflected in these sentences in the divine principle. Can you read?
Before the creation, God existed alone as the eternal and masculine subject partner. He therefore created the universe as his external and feminine object partner. This is supported by the Bible verse which states, "Man is the image and glory of God." In recognition of God's position as the internal and masculine subject partner, we call him our Father.
So, Father, you might have a question. Why Jesus didn't tell him to find the only begotten daughter? Why? Instead, he realized, I am the special housewife. I need to be the center of the world in place of Jesus, and I need to find the bride and educate her to become true parents. The goal is the same. Before I continue, please discuss why Jesus didn't tell. You could say, that's his responsibility. But add some more explanation on your own. Discuss, please. Why Jesus didn't tell Father about the necessity to find out only begotten daughter to become true parents. You want to join here? Okay.
Because he did sing about why is it come back to this
Let's break it down.
ありがとうございます。どうもすみません。持って行っていいですね。もう水も飲むかもしれないので、もう置いといてください。置いていいです。ありがとうございます。はい、どうもすみません。ありがとうございます。
Saying like, oh yeah, that's why like the bride. Find the bride. You didn't see like when you didn't see know as much as maybe Jesus. So if he's special house, is he saying special house, like vine and raise?
No discussion here? You share? You did? Okay. Okay. So please share, each a representative of each group, share what you discussed or learned or thought. Anyone? Okay.
So we concluded that one idea might be that Jesus didn't fulfill that course himself. He wasn't able to find the living God there, so he couldn't tell the true Father.
He couldn't tell because he couldn't.
Because, well, he knew, but he couldn't tell the true Father because he didn't do it himself.
Okay. Interesting.
Or also he didn't tell the true Father a lot of things. True Father had to find out a lot of things for himself, and that's one of the things that true Father had to find out for himself.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I think we thought that, like how True Mother can explain things because she's a genius athlete. Maybe Jesus told True Father, we can understand it because he doesn't have the same kind of understanding.
So you think even he tells Jesus, Jesus even he told Father he couldn't understand.
Not fully.
Couldn't understand, not fully.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So true Father can find the importance of the only begotten Father for himself, like find out the secret and how important it is. Like how important true Father actually is, like how the only begotten Father is. Instead of just like being given like, oh, the only begotten Father is importance, go find it. But it's more like so he can have his own deeper understanding of who true Mother is, or the only begotten Father is.
So simply put, what?
Simply put, so yeah, the Father can find out for himself.
Yeah, that's true. So then I said more explanation. One moment. Okay, go ahead. This group, that behind. No one? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I pretty much said similar, same thing. Like so, Jesus or Father could find out for himself, but so that way when he found out, he could have more conviction in it.
Okay, I understand, right? All right.
Yeah.
Also, maybe it would be just too much for Chapala just to suddenly hear that he has to find him.
That's too much.
Yeah, no, because like I mean, like that. First, Chapala has to like understand the whole history of like providence, like all the principles of creation stuff. Before, at the end, he didn't understand that he has to find the bride. It has to be the last thing that he hears from Jesus in a sense.
Okay. So, this group said maybe he couldn't understand. He said it's maybe too much. And you said, if he realized by himself, maybe he could have more conviction, right? Okay, what is God's dream? I explained. What is God's dream? In a sentence. Huh? That's the purpose of creation. You're lacking the idea of creation. Yesterday I explained to become the parent of humanity, right?
Yeah.
Please remember it, okay? To become the parent of humanity, right? So for that purpose, God needs to have assumed bodies. And to become parent means including the third blessing as well. Okay, to become the parent is the purpose of whole purpose of the Creator, right? Then, what happened to Adam and Eve? Do you know they fell during growing period? If you understand this way, God can become parent by creating Adam and Eve, then the for Adam and Eve is okay, right? Already Adam and Eve exist. So by creating Adam and Eve, the Creator could be parent. But that is not the case. God wanted to dwell using their body and become parent. That's what I said, right? Now, the Adam and Eve fell. Jesus could represent only male aspect of the Creator, but he was crucified. So as you basically said, even Father met Jesus, and Jesus met Father, to find the only begotten daughter is the last one. First and foremost, he needs to understand God's dream. And he needs to understand the meaning of the fall of Adam and Eve. And he needs to understand the cross of Jesus. And then he understands clearly what he has to do. Kind of a conclusion, right? So through the first encounter, Jesus couldn't tell anything. That's why Father felt, as we read, oh, I am the one to be responsible for the whole providence. That was okay. Now we thought Father met Jesus. But actually, Jesus met Father. Jesus chose Father. The motive lies in Jesus. When we understand this way, this encounter, we have the terminology, the providence of returning resurrection of Jesus. Now, providence returning resurrection, you can find this theory in the divine principle. Let's read together. Please read.
The spirits of people
quick.
The spirits of people who died before they could reach perfection during their earthly life can be resurrected only by returning to earth and completing their unaccomplished responsibility through cooperation with earthly people. By assisting people of faith living on the earth to fulfill their missions, the spirits may complete their missions at the same time.
So even though Jesus is the motive, he had a motive, it's up to earthly people. Right? Go ahead.
When people become receptive to spirits through prayer or other spiritual activities, the spirits descend to them to form a common base with their spirit selves and work with them.
Jesus has to walk with Father. Go ahead.
A person's spirit can grow to perfection only through the physical self. Likewise, in the providence of resurrection, the resurrection of a spirit can be achieved only through earthly life.
Right.
God gives certain people who are at this stage the revelation that they are the Lord, a recognition that they have reached the level of maturity at which He had once blessed human beings with dominion over the universe.
So Father reached exactly this level as a boy of 15 years old. Go ahead.
Since they are to act as the Lord's representatives in their respective fields, God gives them the revelation that they are the Lord.
Encouraging. Oh, you are the one. Go ahead.
God offers such encouragement to spur each on to do his very best in carrying out his particular mission within the greater providence. God also gives such revelations because each is, in truth, the one best fit for his respective area of mission. It is thus virtually inevitable that conflicts break out among spiritually sensitive people. Their conflicts are aggravated when each of them receives the revelation that he is the best. Believers in the last days whose devout faith entitles them to receive the revelation that they are the Lord, stand in a position similar to that of John the Baptist. John the Baptist came with the mission to make straight the way of Jesus. In the same way, these people of faith are given the mission to prepare in their particular areas of responsibility the way for Christ at the second advent.
This is what description described in the divine principle. But if we understand the content we read previously, the words in blue should be this. Right? So Father had a deep experience with Jesus and God. And came to have a sense of absolute subjectivity and responsibility. It's great. He dedicated himself whole his life. But 2,000 years ago, it was only Jesus who knew that he himself was the only begotten Son. 2,000 years later, it was only true mother who realized and knew that she is the only begotten daughter. Even father, Daimoni, her true mother's grandma, no one knew it. An amazing thing is this astonishing that she knew at the age of already 70 years old. And she was ready to become the mother of whole humanity. And since then, she has remained undaunted. Please read.
It can be said that Father did not know for sure the essence of Jesus and God. At the time of the 1960 marriage, I knew all of heaven's providence. At that time, he tried to take the lead and make all the decisions.
Now, he was subjective, right? Right.
But when the other party said, no, I cannot, his situation was like standing on a precipice.
Okay, no, I can't. At least two candidates said, no, I can't, in 1960s, before the Holy Wedding. Okay?
The day had been set, and so it was...
That had been said actually 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And mother was right there. But father couldn't realize. Right.
At that time, I was in the dormitory. Someone I knew came and said that my mother was in critical condition and wanted me to come out. However, it wasn't my mother, but father, who was in critical condition. At that time, I made a judgment. I could have chosen not to do it. However, thinking about the providence of heaven, I naturally gave up everything and focused only on Heavenly Parent. The Unification Church began its journey with the Spirit and truth. However, the Heavenly Parent I knew was slightly different. Nevertheless, I had no choice but to endure and wait for the right time. New wine must be put into fresh wineskins.
So after, especially 2014, virtually 2013, she started to reveal the new truth. So we're going to read Mother's words, what she expressed as of now, about those main points. Please read.
If the juice is poured into a new wineskin in the middle of the desert, it will expand through heat and fermentation. But if they were to use it again in another season, when it has already expanded once, it could burst. That is why they should pour new wine into fresh wineskin.
Did you know that? Why is it? This is practical reason why. Okay? Okay.
Jesus said, new wine must be put into fresh wineskins. If I tell you no to what you knew in the past, you should listen to my words. Father should not have married until he met the only begotten daughter to fulfill his mission as the returning Messiah. However, he did get married, therefore he must have indemnified. As Father, he is the one with the mission of fulfilling the responsibility of the returning Messiah, not as the only begotten Son, so he cannot marry according to his own desires. As the returning Messiah, he had to remain chaste until he met the only begotten daughter. Because the circumstances were not like that, heaven sent Father to the north. Father followed with absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. By my becoming the counterpart, Father became the returning Messiah. Father's mission as the Messiah began after the Holy Marriage in 1960. Heavenly Parent gave birth to the only begotten daughter to see the completion of heaven's plan, and I needed a partner. I knew what Father had experienced until he turned 40. It was different. However, because heaven's circumstances were urgent, I said I would do it. I couldn't argue, so I endured and waited. The reason I was able to overcome truly difficult and challenging situations was because of the love of Heavenly Parent. Is it possible to have a dialogue at the age of 17, having no environment, with someone at the age of 40 who has such disciples and environment? Father was born in 1920, and if he received his mission from Jesus at the age of 16, he should have started studying to qualify for the restoration of Christianity from that time. In other words, if he had studied the Bible, become a pastor through the Christian faith, and become a great revivalist, even in such an environment, if he had said, I was told by heaven to meet the only begotten daughter and get married, so I am performing the holy marriage, it would not have been opposed by Christianity. Although Father declared the foundation day, he ascended to heaven. Why couldn't he reach the goal? Heaven did not want to extend the providence any further. You must understand this. However, as the true parents, for the father who did not fulfill his responsibility to heaven, I offered prayers as much as I could in front of Heavenly Parent. That was my devotion at his after 3 years. The true parents are the ancestors of humanity. Parent is together with them. The true parents are eternal. Father could not directly organize this and passed away, so opposing sons appeared. They were born as God's children, but each of us has a responsibility to fulfill. If you don't fulfill your responsibility, you are not connected to me. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were also expelled from heaven because they didn't fulfill their responsibilities. It's the same. Chanukah was opened by the only begotten daughter, true mother. New wine must be put into new wineskins in a new era. One must be clothed in new garments, and that was not realized. When I said, I'm the only begotten daughter, the completer of the providence, as such a figure, how did you respond? I could only silently walk the 7 years of effort that I only knew. I am the only begotten daughter. I alone know the truth of heaven's providence. Everything must be spoken of in the providence of the only begotten daughter, which began with Foundation Day. The only begotten daughter, true mother, will complete the providence. This thought must be made clear.
I said, she has remained undaunted. And this year, in April, in 13 major newspapers, we had full one-page color advertisement of mother's autobiography. Actually, this is advertisement of her book, but in reality, this is the proclamation of who she is. Here, 조림 독생 한학자 존재, which means 한학자, the first coming, the only begotten daughter. The major newspaper, 13 newspapers. She says, always, become one with me, the only begotten daughter. Some first gen who used to learn deep content of Father's words often said, oh, sorry, it doesn't appear here. Mother's message is too simple, shallow. We need more truth. Really? Jesus said the same thing. All humankind is like Father said, like orphans, unaware of their parents, where they are, who they are. And the divine principle is like a letter from the parent you never seen. By reading and studying the divine principle, you can understand, oh, I have my parent, who they are, when we can meet. But when a parent came to the orphanage and appeared in front of you, you don't have to, communicate with them through the letters, right? Set the letter aside, taking hands of parents, leave the orphanage, and began living together with them. You need more letters? You need more truth? No, just live with parents. That's why Jesus said this. The mother said this. This is the crucial teaching of Christianity and Family Federation. Only those two organizations have this kind of teachings. Why? Other religions don't have only begotten son, only begotten daughter. What they have is teachings. Study the teachings and practice the teachings and becoming better persons to the most. Our teaching, this is the crucial teachings. That's why Mother said, be one with me, be one with me, be one with me. And that's exactly what Father did. Please read.
Why did Jesus call himself the only begotten Son of God? Jesus presented such an expression which is utterly unbelievable to humans in order to grant them immediate benefits if they believe in him.
Again, when Mother speaks about Jesus, she never said this perspective. Because, as I said yesterday, she grew to become one with Jesus through her own growing period. Because she was born as the only begotten daughter. But Father needed Messiah. That's why he understood the value of Jesus. And as we read yesterday, he explained verbally, linguistically, the value of being one with Jesus in the divine principle this way. Please read.
When we unite with Jesus in a perfect reciprocal relationship, we can recover our original nature of creation. Then we can also come to have a give and take relationship with God and become one with him.
So Father knew the value of being one with Jesus. Why, Mother want to talk to two groups, Christians and the second gens. Why? Christians. Christians know the meaning of being one with the only begotten Son, like Father did. That's why she wants to talk to the Christians first. And why second gen? First then join the church by understanding the principle and accept Father and started to follow Father. But second gen, you are born in the tradition, right? So in heart, you are closer to Mother. That's why she wanted to talk to you in heart. Last year, when she came here, she talked to only the Christians and the second gens. And that happened again in Brazil this year. Why Jesus and Mother said always be one with me, be one with me, be one with me? Because they are the embodiment of Heavenly Parent, and they are the origin of true love, life, and lineage. Please read.
Through becoming one with true Mother, connecting to the sphere of love and heart of Heavenly Parent, one's own heart undergo a fundamental transformation.
So this is the crucial teaching. Be one with true Mother. Be one with true parents. Not studying the principle. Not studying even true parent theology. What is the purpose of studying that? Be one with the only begotten daughter. Be one with true parents, because they are the source of life. You remember this, right? In Korea Island, she offered prayers. And I know one black American husband and white American wife, a couple. I met them. I happened to meet them actually during the Great War a couple of years ago at IPEC. And I was at the same table with her wife. He was not there. And she said, one night, her husband from Africa woke up shedding tears without knowing why. And later, both of them realized that was the very moment Mother was offering the prayers. Many Christian leaders maybe went there to offer prayers. But she is not doing it as a performance. She means it, and she did it, changing the spirit world. This is what she said to Japanese church leaders. One of them, one of my spiritual children, was in a group. And she said to the church leaders, I believe you've all met me in your dreams many times. Why? But that's because I came to visit you all. What does it mean? Please read the first sentence.
I can't express how much I've been looking forward to meeting all of you.
Because I love you. I always want to see you. That's why she is sure. I'm sure you met me in your dream. So when you have dreams of father, mother, don't think, oh, I'm so faithful. No. Because they loved you. That's why you are just responding. You've heard many testimonies from Korea. Second chance of responding to mother. Right? You don't have to know the divine principle actually. If you recognize your parent, that's it. Be one with her. In heart. Then you can feel like a, plug in. Then you could feel heavenly love and life. But some, you can have questions. Why mother didn't tell father? I can explain, but please pray. And then true father, true mother are really one. Pray. For example, Jesus said about his relationship with God. Please read.
I am in the Father, and the Father is in me.
And many Christians think theologically, a theological statement. But this is, again, from here. His individual relationship with God. But by the same way, mother explained her relationship with father this way in her autobiography. Please read.
The fact that we completely love each other means that he is within me and I am within him.
Mother, even she has clear idea about who she is, what should have done. But like Abel loves Cain. Like the second gen served the first gen. For 53 years, she loved father 100%. And reached this. This is a kind of a vertical relationship. But father and mother realized that standard in horizontal level. This is not theological statement again. Fortunately, one of the senior member, she was professor of Iha Women's College. She went to the United States to study during the Korean War. During the Korean War, she was elite of the elite. She attended father and mother from 1950s, 60s, 70s, early 80s. And this is her observation of a true parent. I read this in her memoir. Please read.
I think true father and true mother are completely united, but I'm not sure how to express it. What always comes to mind is that true mother is within true father, and there are times when true father is completely within true mother, unseen. To say they are united means that even in the unseen realm where true mother is inside true father, we can perceive that she supports and embraces him. It may seem strange to think that true mother takes the position of the subject, while true father takes the position of the object, but that is exactly how it is. It feels as if true mother appears on the surface, while true father enters inside and guides. Who is currently standing on the surface? Whether true father is inside true mother or true mother is inside true father. I know that seems well, but in any case, there are times when true mother does not seek to appear on the surface and remains like a shadow. However, lately, it seems that such instances occur frequently. If we say that true father is inside true mother, and true mother is inside true father, that is oneness.
This observation exactly reflect on what mother said here, right? She published her autobiography in 2012. And her autobiography published after she died and she passed away. So she didn't read this. My point is, she's not talking about some theological theory. She's just expressing her own relationship with Father. They were really one. Even though mother had different ideas, she served Father 53 years. That's why I said, what we believe this. Christianity believes Trinity. We believe substantial Trinity. Invisible Creator became Heavenly Parent through True Parent. And True Parent, being one with Invisible Creator, they became true human ancestors. This been established. So, Kingdom of Heaven started. And true human beings, including you guys at the second gen, and birth couples, are here. Human beings, how old are they? 12 years. Even Father had male-centered true parentship. Mother understands true parent centering on only begotten son, only begotten daughter. Both of them understanding God's dream is to become true parents. For example, Father said this. Please read.
In having a spiritual experience, true mother and I must appear in work. Therefore, in whose body and image can God appear before humans on this earth? You need to know that God can appear in front of children all over the world in the image of true mother and the image of myself.
Okay. Can you read words in blue again?
God can appear in front of children all over the world in the image of true mother and the image of myself.
So God's dream has been established. This is exactly what Mother said. You read this already. Please read.
In the Divine Principle lectures, we should also educate people on true parents. What is the Creator's wish? It is to become the true parent of humanity. We therefore need to give lectures on true parents.
What is Creator's wish? Become parents. Father said the same. So, this has been established, as I said. Kingdom of Heaven on earth has started. And human beings are just 12 years old. Father defined this victory as this. Please read.
Settlement of the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind.
Mother defined this victory this. Please read.
Appearance of heavenly parent.
They are talking about the same thing. Father is like a, say, this is one example. If she speaks Korean, because she was born and learned Korean naturally, and he's speaking learned Korean, that kind of thing. So even he understands this victory, but Mother was clear the meaning of this. So as I said yesterday, my lecture consists of 70% of Father's words and 30% Mother's words. But with Mother's words, I could organize my lectures, which means she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. Okay. Please read.
I am the only begotten daughter, the true mother. I am the mother of the universe. All 8 billion people of humanity are my sons and daughters. I am public. I am not just the mother of one family, but the public mother of the universe.
Again, she has remained undaunted since she was 17 years old. This is the final slide before break. Please read.
Anyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven. But anyone who speaks against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven.
She often mentioned these biblical verses. And some say, oh, mother is threatening us. No. Okay, mother is the embodiment of the Holy Spirit, right? Embodiment of the Holy Spirit, female aspect of invisible creator. What does it mean? Okay, 2,000 years ago, Jewish people and Roman betrayed Jesus. But if their descendants accepted Father as the returning Lord, they will be forgiven. And those who betray or accuse or oppose Father, if they repent and accept Mother, they will be forgiven. But by using these biblical verses, what she wants to say is, she is the last one. She is the last one. If you don't understand it, and if you oppose her, no way. Be careful. Don't, fail, Mother. So this is what she means. She is the last one sent by the Creator. So she's not threatening. She's really hoping that all can understand who she is. Okay, thank you. So this is the content of Only Begotten Daughter, Only Begotten Son. So 10 minutes break, then after 11:10, we're going to have a second lecture, which is about the relationship between true parents and us. Okay? Thank you very much. 아, 그거 어디서